seen government regulators walk into banks and say, you know what, I see that you're banking that person, and just understand that we might need to take a little closer look at you if you continue to have them in your portfolio. So why don't you just scoot them out of the way? Guys, I've seen this game. So many people in this room have seen this game. And I think what's more, I've also come to learn and see how antiquated the traditional financial system is around the world. Because it's slow as hell, it's inefficient, it's expensive, and generally speaking, it doesn't serve the needs of hundreds of millions of people around the world. You know, people that don't have our balance sheet, people who don't have the Trump last name, people who don't have our assets, people who don't have the advantages that we have as a family, they have no competitive advantage. They have no capital. Individuals around the world have been left behind by the millions. The traditional banking system is rigid. It's vulnerable to manipulation. It's failed the modern world. It's failed to adapt. It's failed to keep up with the modern world. It's failed the needs of the modern world. And guys, really, that's where crypto emerges. You know, I ask this question every single time somebody asks about crypto, but I say, does it make any sense that, you know, a beautiful young couple, they want to go out, they want to get financing for a home. It takes them 90 days, it takes them 120 days to get financing. Does that make any sense whatsoever? By the time they get financing, that home that they wanted to buy, it's gone, it's sold, their dreams are destroyed. How in the world does that make sense? I mean, I can go on my phone right now. I can trade Bitcoin at midnight on a Saturday night while having dinner with my wife. How the hell does it take 120 days to get a loan in developed nations around the world? It doesn't make any sense. The traditional banking system is antiquated. Why do banks work on a 9-to-5 schedule 5 days a week? Does anybody in this room work on a 9-to-5 schedule? No. How does our modern financial system work that way? You know, does it make any sense that hedge fund managers and private wealth advisors, they're taking 220 splits on funds 3/4 of the time they fail to actually beat the S&P 500, right? They fail to beat basic index funds. You have these private wealth guys that are getting points on your money, and you wonder why they're sitting in the biggest buildings in the world. Their big signs are shining down on streets in every city around the world. How in the world does this make sense? Guys, Bitcoin's not just another asset. It's a solution to all of this. It's a solution because it represents a new financial paradigm. And it's a financial paradigm that's decentralized, it's transparent, it's empowering. It levels the playing field. It allows people to store value. It allows people to transfer value. It allows people to grow their wealth without relying on the very financial system, which, if you want to be honest, has left behind 99% of people in the world. You know, if you're part of the top 1%, the traditional financing system is great. And by the way, it's probably the top 1%, if I'm being generous, in the top 10% of countries in the world. Bitcoin's not just an investment. It's a global asset. It's a store of value. It's a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against political turmoil, political instability, acts of gods, hurricanes, fires, floods, tornadoes. Guys, that's what makes it so powerful. There's no CapEx, there's no insurance, there's no mismanagement, there's no corruption, there's no brokers, there's no break rooms, there's no HR, there's no DEI nonsense. There's no need for tens of thousands of bankers and massive skyscrapers all over the world pushing credit applications and antiquated paperwork, you know, charging exorbitant fees. There is nothing that's done in those buildings that can't be done better on blockchain. There's nothing done on those, you know, in those buildings that won't eventually be digitized on blockchain. There's nothing that can't be done faster, cheaper, more transparently, and really better in the new frontier. And guys, there's no question that's why this technology is the greatest disruption to the modern financial system.